Welcome back to Oblivious Maximus for another episode. I'm Aaron, one of the hosts. Joining me as always,
Benjamin Searle.
Oh, you've changed it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of going with Benjamin. What do you?
Your Christian name?
Yeah, well, my full name is Benjamin Philip Percy Charles Searle. That's on my passport.
Damn.
5 names.
5 names. Yeah, Mum had to get them in. Use them up.
Word count.
I was thinking about this the other week because my dad wanted to call me Rasputin.
Yes.
And what did your
Jakob.
So welcome to Oblivious Maximus with Jakob and Rasputin. And joining us this week,
Allison from Pulse. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
Thank you for having me.
You don't have
Such
to.
an exciting name.
You don't have to dox your full name on this show if you don't want to. But
Yeah. Did your folks ever have another name that they had picked out for you?
No. Nah, just Allison.
That's
Allison.
sensible.
Yeah.
Sensible.
My little brother, if he was a girl, was going to be Serendipity, so I'm really glad he wasn't.
That's up there with Jakob and Rasputin.
And my brother's named after Jason Voorhees, so Shane Jason. So
Big
that is-
horror fans.
That's very sick.
yeah, apparently I'm named after a funeral home, so nothing exciting.
Okay.
My mum's name is Allison as well, so
shit.
maybe she's named after a funeral home.
Double L-I.
No double L, just single L for her.
Ooh.
Yours is unique. My name having 2 A's often, people get real bungled around with me. 2 R's, 2 A's, famously at our old, Ben and I used to work together at our old work. A principal of a school sent me an email once and they must have hit, autocorrect. And they said, "Hi, Aardvark." And then for like fucking years, the Aardvark was a gag at our work. People would just write me emails like, "Hey, Aardvark," a lot of A's in there. It's really
Imagine spelling that every day, though. What a nightmare.
well.
Why is that in his regular rotation?
Well, yeah. Also, how is this person's device not written Aaron enough in its time that it autocorrects to Aardvark? Like that's a more reasonable thing to write.
Big animal head.
Maybe. I mean,
Aardvark fans.
my partner's name is Rebecca, but she goes by Duck. And I'm like the only person in the world who the autocorrect of fuck to duck in the phone
Is the other way around.
is great for me because,
Yeah.
but now whenever I try and write fuck, it thinks I got to be saying duck all
like
the time.
duck.
Yeah.
Remember before we started, you were like, "Can we swear on this?"
Sorry.
We are 4 minutes in and I've said fuck 12 times.
Demonetized.
We've been demonetized.
We have talked about this as well, that there's simply no way that we can monetize this thing.
No.
I will not swear. I can't be told what to do.
I'm not beeping.
Yeah. The editing to get that sorted is a nightmare. Anyway, let's talk about you rather than the things that we go through.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself for those who don't know. Where'd you grow up?
Yeah. My name's Allison. I grew up in the southeast, like Dandenong Ranges, like
Yeah.
Puffing Billy area.
Oh,
Upward.
That is a great reference point. Yeah, I grew up in Puffing Billy.
That's like the only thing people know from
I
that
grew up
region.
out that way as well.
Oh, shit. Where?
Wander North.
I don't even know where that is. Is that on the other side of the mountain?
It's more towards like Seville and
Oh,
that
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of area. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
nice.
deep Victoria. The eastern suburbs are
no, not the
we
southeast.
did also receive some feedback recently that
very Melbourne.
our podcast is very Melbourne, but
You're in Melbourne.
we're in Melbourne.
You talk about the context you're in.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
talk about Canberra all the time too. So
Why?
because I'm from there.
Oh, my condolences.
All right, fair enough.
No. Canberra's fine.
Puffing Billy's awesome.
Are you from like a lawyer family or?
No, but actually, that's funny you should say that. Both my sisters are lawyers, and I work
Yeah.
at a law firm. But
I didn't
so I
know
guess
that.
technically we are a lawyer family.
Family.
But no.
No,
So you grew up around Puffing Billy.
Yeah.
Grew up out that way.
Shout out Puffing Billy.
And now you have a zine.
Yeah.
Pulse Mag. Pulse
Yeah.
Zine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pulse Mag, Pulse the Zine. I honestly change it, and it's probably not the best branding, but
Well, we were talking about that with Oblivious Maximus a while ago, that we used to say Oblivious Maximus podcast. And then we've sort of dropped the podcast part.
yeah.
And it's just like, we don't need to say it's a podcast.
It's quite self-explanatory.
It's a bit of everything, you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
and we're doing it. If you're listening to this, you know it's a podcast. You're aware.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Hold on.
That's what we're doing.
but you want to give yourself room for it to be a magazine, go from zine
Yeah.
to mag.
Yeah, if I want to go bigger than A5, which maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Zines are kind of tough. And then magazines, I'm like, oh, I have to like make it nice. So
Yeah. And is this your first time doing a zine?
Yes. Yeah.
And how's it been like?
Yeah, it's been fun. Lots of learning curves. I like paper, so it's good. Yeah.
You have to deal with that a lot.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Like, I grew up reading magazines, like a lot of Playboy and like PlayStation Mag and shit like that. So I just was kind of like, oh, this is all I know. I like words. So I was like, yep.
It's such an interesting format, like, because I've wanted to make like a little zine for ages, and I was like, gonna have one to like hand out at my comedy shows, and
Great.
I made like a little A6 one, and it was like one piece of paper, and I was like, had this Photoshop file with like everything. It's like I took a screenshot of a YouTube tutorial of how to fold it properly, like put that in the background, and then built the zine on top of it.
That's all right.
And has it been a lot of like self-learning, self-teaching stuff?
Yeah. I'm not particularly a creative person. I probably wouldn't label myself that way. But I do a lot of reading and a lot of writing. And like when I was in uni, I quite liked that element, and I love physical media. So it was just kind of like, I just wanted it to be like tangible. Like, you know, I'm really boomer with like technology. I know that we're in a very technology-filled room.
Yeah. But we got a lot of cameras in here.
Yeah. I hate QR codes. I hate AI. Like, I hate all of that. So I was like, I just want something that, like, if the world ends, it's still there and, like, can't be, like, changed online or anything like that. So
it's such a, like, I've tried and put writing stuff out online, and it's satisfying, but it's like, I don't know, there's still something a bit empty about it. It's nice to be able to hold something and go, like, I made this thing. Like, if it's a record or a zine or something like, or a shirt, it's like, oh, feels tangible, like you said.
Yeah, you can make one of those flip books where, like, you know, someone's like getting stabbed. And it's like, the show, and everyone's like, wow.
That's good
That'd
shit.
be all right.
I mean, I truly think like the coolest part about, I mean, other than playing shows, the funnest part about playing music is like getting the record, like having the LP or whatever, and making merch and doing cool shit like that. Like, I mean, the like putting, when, you know, obviously I've put out just music online, and it feels so like it vanishes as well. Like, you know, unless people are, you know, listen, you know, obviously I, like everyone, I listen to Spotify, but like the having it and being able to like look at it and read the inserts and all that shit is like the funnest part about doing it for me. 'Cause it's like, well, this thing is forever now.
Yeah.
It's there.
It can't be changed.
Yeah,
once
yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Having the focus, I guess, of, you know, hardcore, and how did it start going to shows for you and stuff like that?
Like,
But from
me going to music?
You're in Puffing Billy, and you're like,
You're on the Billy.
how did it go from that to the zine?
I don't know. Like, I started in COVID. I started another zine, which was like a horror physical media one, because that's kind of like what I used to do, like write reviews and shit like that. And then I was like, I don't want to do this. It was one of those ones where, like, you know, I was like cutting shit out from magazines and like scrapbooking.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And then, like, I quite like that, and then it was just so limited with what I could use. It was all like Australiana shit, so it was like koalas and stuff. And I was like, it's like, maybe I'll just try digital. And when I made it, I was like, I'm never going to release this. Like, this is just like for the lols. And then I did, and here we are.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Like, I like reading shit, and like all those like blunt posters and stuff that we all grew up on, like posters on the walls. That was kind of like what I liked. So
Yeah, there's something about the, like, I feel like for me, I was thinking a lot about this when I was younger, like covering the front of like my school folders with like things cut out from magazine is like, It's like the early vision board, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm manifesting a chain wallet.
Velcro.
Yeah. It's like, a Billabong hat. Try and get that
Like
going.
a Ouija board.
Yeah, exactly.
You've kind of done that on your laptop.
Yeah, I
haven't
know. I mean, it's still like, I'm this old and I still like have this need to like do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it doesn't feel like, I mean, it obviously just started with one sticker and then you're like, all right, how can I?
That's everything, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I got very obsessed with metal very quickly, and then, like a lot of teenagers, like my room just became like this insane canvas of those posters and shit. I ended up, I mean, I don't know if I've talked about it on here before, but my sisters love to tease me about it as well. But when Dimebag Darrell from Pantera died, I devoted an entire wall in my room to just Pantera posters.
Little
Hell yeah.
shrine.
Made a shrine. I fully made a shrine. And I remember like some years later taking it all down and being like very cringeworthy about doing it all. But then now as an adult, I'm like, I wouldn't mind a little shrine to
Bring it back.
Dimebag in my in my adult bedroom. So might start working on that. One of the great achievements of my life, I think, was being in a Blunt poster. Still have it.
Shit.
Still have the Blunt poster mag featuring myself. Look terrible in it, but whatever.
What was on the other side?
I think actually one side of the page is us and then the other side of the page is D's Nuts, and our friend Stu was playing guitar for them at the time. So it's quite funny to share a page with a friend of mine.
You're facing a lot of people's walls.
Yeah, I exist. Unfortunately, not as big as
D's nuts.
D's Nuts, Europe's favorite band. So when did you sort of start getting into heavy music? Was it real young or what?
Yeah, maybe like shit. Like 11 or 12, probably the same as everyone else. Just like older brother shit. Like he was listening to System of a Down and stuff like that. And then he had like a party with his friends, and one of his friends was like, have you heard of Slipknot? And I was like, nah. And then it all was over. And I just was like, yep, great.
That's I know the exact where I was when I first heard Slipknot. I can picture I was in my friend Steve Garth's bedroom and I was like visiting him. He like moved over the other side of the city to Altona, and he was like, have you heard this band? And I was like, it's like,
They wear costumes.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding?
it's like, where were you when the moon landing happened?
When JFK died.
Yeah, when were you when you first heard the knot?
I just think more people should have 9 people and more useless like members. Not enough people do nothing on stage, and I really respect that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, jails have taken that on a bit. Not useless. I mean, they are security.
Yeah.
It's a cruelty.
The cruelty. Yeah. There was when I was, I think I still do it. There's a band from Canberra called the VBs, who are like a punk band that play like silly pub rock type shit. And for a long time, they had a friend of theirs just cook a barbecue on stage while they were playing.
More of that.
Yeah, very sick.
Yeah.
They did it at the Tote one time. He was inside at the Tote cooking snags on stage.
Was it really smoky?
Oh, yeah. It was insane. It was so funny.
You gotta have like those things that they have at like Korean barbecue. Just fucking
A big vent over the stage.
Next Aglo show, I expect to cook.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of suggestions that I get of things that I should be doing, and
my bad,
like,
sorry.
no, most of them are like good ideas, and I'm like, how do I do this? But I'm trapped by not being big enough to play places any bigger than a pub. So.
No, that's all right. The Toad's great.
The Toad is great.
Bendy's good.
So you hear Slipknot, and then, and you said you really are into writing. Where did the writing come in for it? Was it?
Probably not till like this scene. Like just with uni, I would always write and read and stuff like that, and I quite enjoyed it. And then it just kind of happened. The writing part is honestly like such a drag. Like I enjoy it, but it's always kind of like I'm sure you have the same thing with comedy, like we kind of just discussed. Like sometimes you just have to like force yourself to sit down and be like, I have to think now. Like I have to make notes, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, I think I have been thinking a lot about writing lately because I'm in sort of Comedy Fest has ended, and I think I'll have like a sort of bit of a quieter year this year, trying to like build up a bit more and, you know, save a bit of money and stuff. And I was like, well, one thing I can control is writing heaps. And it's like setting up your life so that there is at least many barriers to writing. And for me, I'm like, just go as long as I can without picking up my phone in the morning. Like this week I had Wednesday morning, I got up, I wrote freehand, like I'm trying to do the morning pages, which is like a writing practice, and just banged out 3 pages of like stream of consciousness stuff. And it felt great.
Is that what you have to do? Just like write?
Yeah. It's the most annoying thing about writing.
I hate my life.
It's like, well, it's like, I think writing is thinking sometimes. It's like, you know, getting your thoughts in order. And it's like this thing just like poured out of me. And I used to do it a while ago, and it's like, I am writing. I am putting this down on page. And then eventually you kind of get things out. But it's like, man, it is like, it's just annoying where it's like someone's like, how do you get healthy? It's like, eat right and exercise. You're like, fuck. You know? So how do you write? You have to sit there and do it heaps.
Yeah. And that's honestly like not fun and so much harder than like you tell yourself. I'm like kind of in this stage at the moment where I'm like, yeah, I'm just like taking a break. And then it's just like a year later, I'm like, I'm still taking a break. So
well, and I think it's like, you know, life gets in the way, and you got fucking bills to pay, and it's like sometimes the last thing you want to do is like, you're like, I just want to sit in front of the TV and just have things come at me.
Yeah.
I need media forced down my throat. I mean, I think the putting the phone down is a hard one at the minute. I mean, I think the machine wants us on that thing.
Yeah, it's
very Terminator of you.
Yeah.
I mean, prove me wrong. The phone is coming after me.
The phone is coming after us. So what were you studying at uni?
Law. Yeah.
Do you have a law degree?
Yeah. I am not practicing, but I enjoyed it. I liked the learning part and the writing part and the investigation part. But I just kind of never wanted to do it, so I just kind of have it now. I mean, that's the same. Both my sisters are not practicing lawyers, but they both have law degrees. Yeah.
But they just got other jobs. I think it's a very, as someone, you know, the funny thing for me now is that like, I work at a community legal centre, and
sick.
I am like absolutely the least qualified person to be there. Like I have a teaching degree and I simply do not use that at all. But you know, I make sure the tap works and other shit there that other people can't do.
Yeah.
So,
someone's got to do it.
Yeah, you know.
And lawyers are unhappy anyway. Like, I just didn't want to work like from 6 a.m. till like 11 p.m. at night. And then now I have like 3 jobs. So I'm like, who's laughing now?
But in between those 3 jobs, you can do whatever you want.
You got all this downtime.
Yeah, literally.
And choosing what goes into your zine, how has that been like, I think this issue needs to be like this, or I want to chat to this person? How's it been kind of like editing and putting that together?
Yeah, I kind of just it was quite selfish at the start. Like there were just people that I was like, oh, I admire XYZ, like the first issue, like Beck from Terminal Sleep and Emily from Volatile Ways and stuff like that. And I was kind of just like trying to figure out what I wanted to do, like if I wanted to do a zine or a band or anything like that. And I was like, oh, well, I may as well just talk to people about it.
Yeah.
And then, just kind of started interviewing people. There's not really much else in the zines apart from interviews. So the second issue has a little bit more. But, just kind of started researching, and then I sent them all an interview and I was like, do you want to be in this? And they all said yes. And I was like, damn, now I have to do it.
It's funny how, you know, again, annoying it is. It's like, oh, if you just ask for things, they happen.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And you hold yourself back from doing it, I think, because you're like, what if they say no? And you're like, yeah, nothing bad will happen.
Yeah, what if they say no?
Yeah.
It's just like, all right.
I mean, that's the stance I've been promoting broadly, is when people have shit writers at shows, like, did you ask for anything? Nah, but they only gave us like 6 beers. And I was like, Next time, ask for 24 beers and maybe you'll get 12 and then everything rocks.
Is your rider like this big?
I mean, it's, I actually don't ask for that much. I think lots of I've seen some insane ones, but like I definitely just go, I want this. And if I get one of those things, I'm like, fucking awesome. Free shit. Like,
do you ask for like goods? Like I know heaps of homies ask for like Pokemon cards and shit.
No, I've never been that specific. Our old band we learnt from another band that a good thing to do was just ask for stuff that you actually need, not like you can buy booze at a bar. Like maybe ask for shit that you like, particularly on tour, like ask for towels because you always need them. Ask for, and then, a couple of bands were like, just ask for stuff that you would want to take home. Like ask for groceries.
Yeah, like veggies.
Yeah.
Great.
And ask for like loaves of bread and juice and toilet paper. And ask for those things and you'll often get them because they're like, yeah, we can do that.
Dope.
So yeah, that's probably as silly as I got. I have toured with bands though that have been like, want very specific things and then get very grumpy when they don't get them. But, that's okay.
Yeah.
Be a fucking baby, I guess.
A little while ago, you put a show on as well.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Jace from What We Did on the Weekend does like a charity show once a year. He's kind of done it. I think ours was the 5th or 6th year. I should know that. And he's always done it and he always did it for Beyond Blue. And then he was kind of like, I've given them enough money. So he's like, let me try something else. And we're like quite good friends. So he was like, would you like to join in on this one? And I kind of came in and I was like, I just have a few conditions. Like I wanted it to be like as predominantly non-male as possible. And I wanted it to be a charity for like women's violence. And he was like, yeah. And he just kind of let me come in and have all these conditions. So it was honestly awesome. Like I would really like to put on more shows. I don't know if I'd do it not charity. Like I really enjoyed the raising funds and the raffle and stuff like that. And they ended up coming down like Refuge Victoria. They just like, we were like, you can have 6 door spots. And they were like 17. So like, they bought like the whole office and they all wore like their like Amy Winehouse shirts and stuff.
Amazing.
And it was just honestly awesome. It ended up going really well. We raised a bunch of money and it was just
awesome.
Fun.
I played 2 songs at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did too.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Outright rule, honestly.
They
great
do.
band. The only thing about shows that I just like would change is I would just do like a sit down lunch. Like I just wanted to sit and eat with everyone. Like it was so family and just like I'm a feeder, so I was just like, like, what do you want in the green room? Like, let me make you snacks. And
you got the
like,
towels going.
I was like, whatever you need. Like, I just seem to really enjoy like looking after people and running around. But the shows go like shit. They're like a minute. You blink and it's just over.
Yeah, I think the I've talked about it on here quite a lot, but like the thing about going to shows to me is just the hanging out. Like. The music is kind of secondary once you're there. Like it's just the hang. I mean, I went to a show last night and like spent most of the time in the hang portion, not so much time in the band function portion, but
What show did you go to?
I went and saw Secret World play last night with Trophy Eyes and stuff. It was awesome. Yeah, the show was great.
Is that Billboards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Sound terrible. Have to give that feedback to Billboards. I think it's valid. Sound in there.
If you are awful. A venue in Melbourne and you're not adhering to the standards, we will tell you on this podcast.
I have no problem telling you. There was a lot of fader work happening back there.
Yeah, the lights at Billboards lately are just
was crazy.
So obscene. It's like, chill out. It's like, I don't need it.
Duck, my partner, was like, we were out the front watching Secret World and she was like, I reckon I got to go back there. It's getting real hard out here. Like it was like full... And actually, classic that venue, show finished and it was like, get out.
Oh, it was club night.
It's becoming a nightclub
what a night
straight away. And we were in the green room and they were like, get out. Like the DJs and people who are coming here need to start using the green room. So it was like, I've never been booted faster from a place. I mean, obviously... I was just a fucking...
In other ways, no.
Yeah. I was just a hanger-on flog as well last night. I actually wasn't playing, so it was very reasonable
Fair enough. Yeah.
to tell me to fuck off. But, you know.
I hate working merch there because they always like kick you out in like 15 minutes. And then they pull this like curtain around the merch area and you're trying to count out and they're just like pulling this curtain around you and you're this tiny nook. And then like all these like 18-year-olds will like try to get in there and start like making out and hiding. And I'm like, I'm fucking counting.
It honestly was like when we were those of us that were not actually doing anything, just bringing
the vibe.
Yeah, being on the door. Thanks to our friends, as we were leaving, like the bands were still packing up gear on stage. We were walking up the stairs and they were already like starting to let people in, and I was like, they're going to go downstairs and the light, like literally the lights are on. Like, why are they busting to start this exactly when the show's finished? Like,
you should be like, I'm a DJ. What do you mean?
I got to get back into that. I did that for a little while. It's something that, I could have just stayed there if they, I could have backed it up.
That's the goal. Yeah. Stay at billboards.
Instead, I went across the street and yelled the Backstreet Boys until the wee
Oh, yeah,
hours
I
of the
did
morning.
see that. I was like, you guys might be a little bit seedy today.
I'm not.
He's not, so he's all good.
Yeah, you did journaling in the morning.
Yeah. Well, no, today I scrolled my phone in my bed. It's the weekend.
You get some days off.
No, I was doing a different gig down the road, a comedy gig, which was I was hosting, and it was tonight. The crowd last night was crazy. I was just like doing 3 different gigs to one audience, but that's life.
You had some people giving you feedback.
Well, there was 2 walkouts, not during my set, but comedian Tom Ballard. Maybe I shouldn't have said his name. Well, no, he was just doing his material about the Pope and the Catholic Church, and 2 people walked out, offended by it, gave him the finger on the way out.
Oh, juicy.
I know. It was pretty. I left really, really quickly because I was meeting a friend right after the show, and I'm back there tonight. I'm like, can't wait to hear the full goss on this walkout, because one of the bar guys apparently spoke to them on the way out and were like, all good? And they were like, said something and then kept walking out.
Was it horribly offensive? Well,
I think if you're Catholic, it probably was.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's Friday night comedy show in the city
in Melbourne, it's
for
not
adults.
like,
And I don't think anything he was saying was like, I mean, I think the Catholic Church have had a pretty good run of things.
Yeah.
Considering.
They literally have a country.
Yeah.
They have their own country. Like,
Yeah.
they're allowed to be put under the hammer.
I mean, maybe we're going to lose listeners now.
Fuck you. If you back the Catholic Church,
Fuck you.
beat it. Turn this off now, dickhead.
You were talking about putting on shows and like that, because I think it's nice sometimes with hardcore and heavy music. It's like, I got to be in a band. I got to do this, but you can kind of go whatever role that you want to take on in that music, and putting on a show. It's like, oh, I'm good at this side of things. Is that like? Did you kind of discover that in putting in the show? It sounds like it sort of unlocked something a bit for you. It's like.
Did I do well?
Yeah. No, the show was awesome, honestly. Like, my big things with shows like that, big show, lots of bands played.
Yeah, like 8.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So often a pitfall for that is there's no time. So it's just like a fucking onslaught of music the entire time. I think your show was great. Good little breaks.
Thank you.
I think it was great breaking it up with the raffle too, because
God, I was terrified doing that setting on stage. That's the first time I've like stood on Stay Gold stage and I was like, what the fuck is happening?
you did good.
Yeah, it was fun. I just kind of did too many woos. Like every time it was silent, I was like, whoa. It's like, oh my God.
We famously did a raffle at Cold Day in
Day.
Brisbane last year.
Oh, yeah.
And it was maybe the worst raffle draw humans have ever seen.
Well, they were like, just do it before 50 Lions play, and everyone had gone, like not gone, but
Like outside to the beer garden.
smoking.
gone
shit,
to the
yeah.
beer garden. It's like half the people that had the tickets weren't in the room.
Yeah.
And it's like, we should have come out right as the other band finished.
Yeah. Before you all leave, we're going to draw the raffle or something.
Just quickly. And
Yeah.
then we're yelling out numbers, pulling more numbers. And finally, just a number that sounded close. Not to give too much away.
Also, I'd been drinking since like
yeah.
10 a.m.
I had not, but I was very aware.
wish you were.
I was very aware that we were bombing.
Also, like, it was, I mean, Staghold's a little bit different, but we were like, could not see as well. Like, we had full stage lights on us.
Yeah.
So when people, like, even if, other than this one person who just yelled out, we were like, yep, you get the prize. Like, we were just reading out numbers and I was like looking at nothing, like just looking at light and I was like, oh boy, this sucks ass. But anyway.
Gets the best
raffles are hard. I think we had like the same dude win like 3 prizes. And at that point I was like, this is ridiculous. But people bought like full books and stuff. Like,
yeah, I remember when you guys were going around for it, or I just, maybe Robin was doing it and I just was like, give me a big wad of them. And then us and like, with some of the guys from Amends and stuff, we all had them all out on the merch table waiting as it was being called. Didn't win, sadly, but you know, I did get to play guitar, so that was
great.
You know, worth it for me. Didn't have to bring any gear either. Outright brought everything.
Yeah,
I literally
they were
just
honestly great. Like I was just so, like, I don't know. I just kind of thought everything would just fall to shit, but it kind of all went great, which was crazy. And I don't know if I'm like meant to say this, but at the end, like, you know, we got like our tally and everything of what we raised, and then all the bands were like, we don't want our guarantee. And every single band gave it back.
That's
and I was
awesome.
like, this is insane. Like Outright just gave it back, and then all the other bands were like, yeah, let's do what Outright did. And they all just gave it back. And I was like, oh my God, like you didn't make any money.
Yeah.
I don't know about merge, but yeah, they did great. Everyone was so lovely.
Yeah, and I think like that's what you say, like it was obviously a show, but it had a cause that was important to you, and it's like, and then I think once they see it's important to you, and obviously I can't imagine there's many people that wouldn't support that cause. But it's, you know, I think that is the extra thing about this scene and what makes it more important. It's obviously has its problems and everything like that, but that's like, I wouldn't expect anything less. Like, you know, it's like not expected, but it's like, of course, like all those bands are sick and wanting to do the right thing. It's a really lovely thing to have happen.
Yeah, they were all honestly very lovely. It was, Outright's one of those bands for me where I'm like I kind of just like fangirled. Like I was like, I'm not going to meet any of them or anything. And then they all came up to me, they're like, hello. And I was like, oh my God. Like, holy shit. Like they were the first band I ever two-stepped to at like Lair Fest in like, I don't know what it was.
That's sick.
So it was just like crazy full circle moment for me. But no, it was awesome. Like Stay Gold were really great. Like Jace was great. Like he kind of did a lot of the admin and shit because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But ended up fun. I would love to do it again, but at the same time, I'm like doing it on my own. I'm like, God, what's so much admin, so much like, I hate emailing. Like I hate it.
Yeah,
that's
comes
probably
up.
why I don't do law.
Comes up frequently on this podcast. It's like,
the admin
you
side.
don't get into these things and go like, yeah, can't wait to send emails about this thing I love.
Literally.
But it's like the sitting down to write thing. It's like, well, no way around this if I want to keep doing it. It's
Absolutely.
hard.
I just want to do the fun stuff.
And you've also done a few stalls at some fests, like New Bloom and one other.
Yeah, Cult Fest, Alpha Wolf's that they do in Brisbane. I think that's it. Sorry if I'm forgetting anything, but yeah, that was kind of dope. They just kind of like Jess, who made New Bloom with Ash Hull, she's in issue 2. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of nice. I was just kind of there the whole day being like, this girl like made this. And people were like, holy shit. But yeah, New Bloom was great. Like, obviously this year, we did last year was 2024. Then we did this year, which was 2025. But this year was a little bit of a nightmare because obviously Brisbane was cancelled because of the cyclone.
Yeah.
So I was like moving all of like cancelling all our flights and like moving all the like the stock, and like obviously we got quite a lot of stock for 3 cities and then it ended up being 2, but it ended up being great. And like Roundhouse is such a sick venue. So anytime I'm there, I'm like, I don't care what I'm doing. I'm just happy I'm here.
Yeah. I haven't been to the Roundhouse in so fucking long.
So good.
It is an awesome venue though. The stall you had here this year, brutally in the sun for most of the day.
God, what a nightmare.
That was the one thing I think no one could have planned for the day there, was that everyone selling merch was just in the direct line of the sunset. So as the day went on, the sun just got worse and worse. Like it was crazy.
It was not pleasant. I was like super proud of Brick and Mortar because obviously they had like records and they were just like nah. And they just left. And I was like, good on you. It was like 6 bands left and they're like, we're going. Like, we're not standing here. It was like total respect.
Yeah.
And the paper was hot, but it was fine.
Luckily,
Zine setting on fire.
Not refracting off any glass. So, yeah. Yeah.
Burning bugs, you know.
Yeah, I definitely got a touch sunburnt that day. Like having a conversation with someone and just going like, sorry, I have to go. I'm getting too warm.
I think there was 2 conversations I had with people, and I was like, "We got to swap. Like,
Yeah.
it's your turn to be,
I'll be the
facing
shade.
directly into the sun."
Yeah, I think I've been pretty good at like avoiding the sun in my life. I'm like, 37 years old, don't get, I think it's the sun. I was like, I can't start now. I can't start now with the sun.
with
not a bad
this
venue, that
complexion,
Yeah.
no.
The rave area was freezing. It was just outside that was
Yeah.
Yeah.
That venue is really good, I think. Like,
Apart from getting there,
getting there,
Yeah.
disaster.
but that's just Port Melbourne in general. It's not
I
very
hate
well
the West,
connected.
yeah.
But we went to the Bunt Jam there, the speed thing there,
Oh,
and
with the half pipe.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
cool.
but I think the big change that it made for New Bloom, it was like actually cooled inside that,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
Was
Yeah.
it hot at the speed show?
Yeah, I think they didn't have any of the shutters or anything shut, and seemingly I think they actually brought industrial.
Yeah, I
air
think
conditioning
Ash
in.
said he had to spend quite a lot of time like tooling it up for the show, because I guess the venue, because it's like it's like a wedding venue, right? Like people
like
do
a big function
big
thing there.
functions there and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I just know they do raves.
yeah.
Yes,
dope.
I think so. He was like, they do this for the rave.
Yeah. Well, and I think a couple of Ducks mates they do a lot of like raves for people in their 40s as well.
That sounds fire.
They do like I think it's like truly a thing. It's like they do like mid 2000s rave shit, and it's just designed for older people who, and like I think it's kind of early. They're designing it for like
2 p.m. doors.
yeah.
Well, that thing is kind of popping off on TikTok at the moment. That like Melbourne sound that was like, I guess like the time I was in like seeing folk punk bands at the art house.
Yeah.
At the same time, there was like Melbourne
Drain rave shit.
shit.
Yeah, and the shuffle. The
shuffle.
shuffle.
Yeah,
came up
the
quite
shuffle.
a bit for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, the shuffle is. I think all that stuff is like now like people are reminiscing about it. So it's back. So
The olden times.
That explains the day rave.
Yeah, well, I just remember them. We went out for like one of her mates' like birthday dinners, and these are, I mean, we don't have kids, but all her mates do have children, and we went out to meet up with them at that Moondog World joint, and they were all like so hungover, and there was just fucking kids everywhere screaming and shit. And we were like, we'd gone out the night before, and we were like, we were not as hungover, and we're the people that don't have kids and can do that shit. And we were like, what's going on? And I think like they'd all just been like, at a rave, doing the things you do at a rave, real fucked up. And then had to go deal with psycho kids at a pub the next day.
No. Every time I've been to Moondog World, there's way too many children for me. I'm like, I've got to get out of here.
Just don't go there if you don't have kids.
Did you go to the one with the bull?
I have been there.
Yeah.
That place is psycho. We did see Tanea from Threshold went psycho on the bull, so that's good. Good on her.
Fun. You should get one here.
We could repurpose this. I mean, when back in the day, it might still be there actually. Actually, it probably is. There's a pub in Adelaide that's just down the road from where we used to play shows all the time. And it has a bull, a bucking bronco in the middle of the pub. I think it's called the Wool Shed maybe, but we used to go there after shows real pissed and try and
If anyone from Adelaide wants to write in, I mean, every other episode we've given them absolute shit. So I think they've all dropped off. But if you're from
if you're still hanging on, Adelaide listeners.
Do you hate Adelaide?
we just have
I don't hate Adelaide.
we just talked about.
I would say for me, Adelaide's a great place to go play a show for one day. I don't need to spend many days there.
Yeah, that's fair. You go to the bakery and then you go home.
Yeah. The 24-hour bakery is dope though. Yeah. But, that same feedback is given about Canberra, and I accept
Yeah,
that.
sorry.
No, I accept it. You don't all get to go hang out at my mum's house.
So what's next for the zine?
I am not sure, honestly.
This is your drive to get back into it.
Truly, yeah. This week I was like, damn, I have to think about Pulse again. Like, it's quite good to like get pushed into it, but I don't know. It's more when I like plan for it and I pick, I guess, my guests, I end up spending like 3 months like stalking the shit out of them to like get the perfect interview. And I just, not perfect, but you know what I mean? Like I don't have the energy for that level of like investigation at the moment. So I'd like to do it again, like another issue, but maybe actually have like articles and some different stuff in there. But maybe some interviews, but probably just not 10. Like spending quite a lot of time on the interview is just not the phase that I think I can like lock into right now, but maybe I just need to like grow up and get it done. So,
but it's nice with a project like that. You can go like, well, now it's this. It doesn't have to be, you know, like I think, you know, doing this, we've kind of like, we started off like asking, you know, writing all these questions for people. And then we're like, oh no, the thing that people actually enjoy is us just chatting to people. Like that's the thing people are like, well, you guys are not music journalists, and it's like, and we don't want to be.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like for us, like it's sort of been a conscious thing, the way that this is developed, like that we just like asking interested. Yeah, we like.
Yeah.
It's truly, you know, crazy that two white guys in their 30s love chatting into a microphone. But if we can harness that to actually
Harness that for good.
Harness that for good. Is what we're trying to do. But are we doing it?
all right, yeah.
We're always open to feedback.
Let us sound off in the comments.
Sound off in the comments. Although the one time someone commented recently, I took it deeply personally.
That's fucking YouTube though. YouTube is like the gnarliest of.
Yeah.
Well, the funniest thing is it was on Spotify that we got the comment.
Can you comment on Spotify?
Yeah.
Yeah, who knew?
Who knew? Well, we found out because, and I think we probably both had the same thing. Downloaded the little app, and I got a notification, and I was like, "Oh, someone's giving Ben shit."
We did an episode directly, and I've brought it up on every episode.
Taking it very
I've
personal.
also talked about, I'm open to feedback.
I will never forget this.
We just had an episode where I said Comedy Fest heaps. It was like immediately after Comedy Festival. And I'm now like, don't say the two words together ever again.
Are they like, oh, I didn't know you were a comedian?
Yeah. And it's like, oh, yeah, the thing I do most. Anyway.
God forbid, yeah.
But, I mean, it's also just a bit of a gag too.
Yeah, and thanks for commenting.
Shout out Comedy Fest.
Yeah. Shout out Comedy Fest. But yeah, it's nice to have a project where you can, it's, you know, projects evolve and people like, I think now we've probably got the best feedback we've ever got. And it's nice to be able to have your zine and go like, well, I liked doing this at this time. Now it might be something else. Yeah.
I kind of relate to what you said as well. Like I'm not a music journalist. I don't want to be a music journalist. Like I just kind of wanted to, I don't know, talk to people that I admire or like in the scene. And you know, you don't want to get into the nitty gritty or the controversial shit, but like, man, some people interview women and the only thing they know how to ask is like, what it's like being a woman in this. And it's like, they don't want to talk. No one wants to talk about that. Like, well, some people do, but that's fine. But it's, you don't want to like, just like, I just wanted to talk to them about their interests. Like Tanny from issue 2, she is like a huge Rancid fan. So I spent quite a lot of time like listening to Rancid like music and watching like interviews and shit just so I could like have a conversation with her about Rancid.
That's sick.
And now I'm just like, oh my God, like I have to pick someone who has stuff that I like can handle. Yeah.
Got to find another person who likes Rancid. Rancid info.
Yeah, so I guess some research, but yeah, I don't want to do the whole hog, but it's some stuff in the scene that I like, I'd like to talk about that's like kind of controversial in the way that I kind of just want to swing and like, you know, like not tabloidy, but be like, like merch cuts and shit. Like, let's talk about it kind of thing. There's just so much secrecy about it. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't really want to put myself in the fire, but I don't really know what else I enjoy. So.
Oh, I mean, I think stuff like that, it's got to be talked about because the reality is shit like that, companies will just get away with fucking murder unless people start talking about it.
You know, it's like normal businesses putting in people's contracts, don't discuss your salary with other employees. And it's like, why do you think they're asking you to do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not like
Exactly.
a legal requirement either.
Yeah.
It's like they put it in your contract and you're like, oh, I talked to another employee and they told me that they're getting paid way more for me for the same job. Oh, now I understand why.
Yeah. I mean,
exactly.
the merch cut thing is like, I mean, that's fucking crazy. Like, still to me, that it simply does not make sense. I mean, and I guess the argument or well, you know, and the retort is always like, cool, well, I guess you can give me some of the bar sales then. Like I would love for you to pay me more money. And if you're getting some of my money, I can have some of yours then, I suppose. Like,
or provide a merch seller. Like, you want me to hire someone, pay them to do merch, and then give you a portion of it. Like, that's ridiculous. Maybe, like, I will make a cut for if your staff is doing it.
Yeah.
And I'll pay their wages. But
100%.
Like, what the hell?
And that's the times that I've been, obviously, the times that I'm cool with it is when they're like, oh, this is to cover the cost of the person selling it. I'm like, great, that's what it should do. Like, you don't need the money, though, because 200 people are here buying beer that you're selling for way more than it costs. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah, especially places like Billboard where like a beer is like $25.
I have not checked my bank account today and I refuse to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely a $15 can on the tap there last night.
They have Monster on tap now. Like, I went and had that the other day. I had like 4.
Hey,
That seems dangerous.
It's great.
big energy drink head, as we've come to find out today.
Yeah, I don't drink, so I got to have some.
Yeah.
Got to get a buzz somehow.
That's exciting. I mean, it's exciting to like think, oh, this is what I'd like to do with this project next, and to kind of have like a rough idea of it. And I think also like pushing yourself to go like, yeah, where could I take this? And yeah, sometimes I think you're like, do I actually want to talk about this? And sometimes you're like, yes and no. I think about that a lot with my stand-up. I'm like, oh, I don't really talk, you know, I'm quite a political person, but I don't really talk about politics too much on stage. And I was like, why is that? And I was like, oh, I think I question whether I have, you know, enough
validity,
understanding.
yeah.
Or the validity. And it's like, is that and I was like, no, well, maybe that's the angle. You know, that's like actually including that in the material and saying how you question it. And it's like, it's like developing your own voice. And it's like, it sounds like you're doing something similar where you're like, yeah, I want to talk about this stuff and I can use this platform to do it.
Yeah, it is very hard, that kind of feeling, being like, am I allowed to talk about this? But at the same time, it's like, if at least anyone who's like not experienced is talking about it, then I guess it pushes for more conversation, more people to talk about it, and then you all learn. So like, if none of us take the step, then like, we're all going to be in the dark. So,
and it often just takes one person to go like, hey, what about this thing?
Yeah.
And then you find out, you know, that so many other people are like thinking about the same thing.
yeah, maybe I'll get to work.
Start doing it. All right. Well, thank you for coming in and talking with us. Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything you want to promote?
When does this?
2 weeks?
2 weeks? Got anything happening 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, I'm doing a band now.
Oh,
Nice. Yeah.
sick.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Talk to us about this band. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun. I'm just doing vocals. I can't do math. I can't play anything. But yeah, it's been fun. I like screaming. So,
And is that a new thing for you?
yeah, we should be announced by then.
Great.
Otherwise, shit.
What sort of stuff is it?
I guess they would call it metallic hardcore.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of hardcore influence, but I don't have like a yelly voice. I'm kind of like banshee screaming. With quite a lot of emo, as much emo as I can convince them to let me have.
You're talking Ben's language here.
Yep.
Yeah, I love emo music, so hopefully I can hold it down for some of us. But
Sincerity's back.
that's the thing. We were kind of writing music, and you know, at one point, my guitarist, he like turned to me and he was like, "Yeah," he's like, "I like this. It's not like covered in metaphors. It's just like super direct." And I was like, "Am I meant to be writing in metaphors?" And I was like, "Holy fuck!" I've just been like, "I don't like this." So
Merch cuts suck.
literally, but no, it's been good. So I should have a show in August. So that'd be
Nice. What's the band called?
good. Blood Oath.
Yeah.
That's a sick name.
Yeah, it's a Magic the Gathering card.
Also
also
dope.
an anime thing. So yeah, just nerd shit. But
I
yeah,
love that. Well,
it should be good.
good
Look
one.
out for Blood Oath.
Yeah.
Yeah. And check out Pulse Zine, obviously.
Yeah.
Ben?
All the chicks in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check everyone out. Check out Rancid.
Oh, yeah.
What have I got to plug? I think by the time this comes out, I will have announced the Brisbane show. So the Thursday before Cold Day, I'll be doing my show Punk Music at Good Chat in Brisbane. And then that's kind of it for now. And I'm doing my Substack again, my writing. It's just solo.substack, but it's on my Instagram, so check that out. Going to try and put some more stuff up pretty regularly. Yeah, that's it. What about you, Aaron?
Same shows that I talked about in the last couple episodes. I Exist shows, Extortion shows, Aglo shows. Link in bio. You can figure it out. Buy tickets to them. Be great if you could. I'll obviously be at Cold Day with Ben as well. That'll be fun. Probably do some talking to people at the show again. So if you feel like being on this podcast,
we're going to try and
do
something a little different with the pod while we're up there.
Yeah.
Like going around. That's fun.
Yeah. Once we lock things down, we can probably start talking about it.
Watch this space.
Watch this space. Big things coming. Announcement coming soon.
Thank you so much for coming in, mate.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was great.
Once you're into the band a bit more, we'll have to have you back to hear all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Fucking oath.
It was a great chat.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.